Welcome to the Josh and Friends podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And my next guest is someone I met while I was working my first job after moving to Phoenix. He's kind of like the dude in the office who kind of slid under the radar, silent and mysterious type. At first glance, he's kind of intimidating. Big Latino dude with that big full black beard. Kind of looks like one of those bouncers at a nightclub or a hitman in one of those old action movies. But after hearing him talk and getting to know him a little, you quickly get the vibe that this guy is just a super chill dude who just wants to have fun and go with the flow. Kind of like, alright. Some of his passions include professional wrestling, trying new energy drinks, and long walks on the beach. Alright. So it's my distinct pleasure to welcome to the show the man who has the power to grow a beard faster than a frickin' Sasquatch. The guy who's always up for whatever. And the scary, not so scary, teddy bear himself, Mr. Erik Tapia. Erik, finally, it's good to have you here, man. How you doing?
I'm great as always, senor.
Oh, you're throwing a little Spanglish at me. I like it.
I try. I do what I can.
Just to start off the show, throw it a little.
I'm the first Mexican you've had on here, so yeah, we need to add it.
Well, hey, it had to happen sometime.
Eventually, yes.
We already had an African American. Are you supposed to call them African Americans, or is it black?
Yeah, I would say so. For you, yes, I would say so.
Okay. Well, have you been pumping iron? Jesus, you're looking big, man. Looking strong, looking hefty.
Look, we don't need to talk about my weight. All right? We don't need to get into that.
You could have been eating that protein, pumping that iron. I don't know. I can never tell because you're such a big guy.
I do 40-ounce curls.
Whoa, Jesus, man, it's pretty good. I like that shirt.
Thank you.
I like it. It's a nice looking red shirt.
I hope everybody listening likes the shirt too.
It's nice. It looks good on you. And what are you drinking over there, by the way?
It is just a little something I picked up on my way here.
Mickey's malt liquor. That's are we in high school, Erik?
Well, okay, so obviously my thing is whenever I come over here, I got to come with the new drink.
Yeah.
I have yet to come over with the Mickey's, so tonight was that night.
You literally always bring. So this is what I love about Erik. Erik always not every Friday, but many Fridays you come over, and you like to bring something new every time. I mean, occasionally you'll bring something the same, but very rarely.
Well, yeah, I mean, it all goes back to my motto: up for whatever.
Yeah, you're up for whatever.
Always.
So this time it's Mickey's. You reverted back to the other direction. Sometimes it's like little wine coolers. Sometimes it's like some weird alcohol, like.
Yeah, I've had some wine. I'm not a big wine drinker, but.
I remember the first time you said you had wine, you had it at my place, and you just started drinking it like it was grape juice, and you're like, and then 20 minutes later, you're like, holy shit, this is strong. And I go, yeah, it's strong, it's fine.
Then I realized that's why people sip wine.
Exactly.
Well, I started off with Four Locos. Now I'm on to Mickey's. So we'll see where we go from
It's
there.
like the drinking episode already, right here.
But
I like how you one time you brought over this drink. It was called cold brew, and remember the first time we had that, you're like, hey, you want to try some of this cold brew? And you're like, and then you drank one of them, and there was it came in four little cans, like these little tiny little cans. And you sat back and you're like, oh my God, that's way stronger than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, it was probably the best alcoholic discovery in my life. But
the funny thing is, you're like, I need water. It's really dehydrating me, and
Well, I mean, it was the first time trying it. I mean, I'm a seasoned pro now, so I can usually get through a couple cans. But
oh God,
I was at Total Wine.
Well, the whole joke was, oh yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead. You were at Total Wine and you saw it.
I saw it.
What is that?
It was I was intrigued, but it was $18. I was not going to pay $18 for a 4-pack.
Dude, are those still really $18?
No, they've dropped.
They've dropped down in price because people are like, "Fuck that!" They tried it once and they're like,
exactly.
Crazy shit happens when you drink these.
I was the same way, so I walked away. Only to come back down that aisle. I looked at him again.
It caught your eye. It's kind of like a attractive woman. You're like, I gotta have it. I gotta talk to this girl.
I can't.
I had to go see about a girl. I had to go see about a 4-pack of. And when we say they're in small cans, they are in tiny little cans.
They're like the mini cans of soda that you can buy.
What are they? They're like 8-ounce cans or something.
If that. They're like small ass cans, but yeah.
It's crazy.
They pack a punch.
Yeah, so the whole joke is like, I mean, after like the first night we had those, I mean, the whole night was completely insane. It was like crazy. And then, so I think I don't know if it was the next week, but you brought it over again, and I go, are you kidding me? You brought it over after that first weekend?
Well, yeah, because I mean, there was 4 flavors, and I figure if we're gonna try one, we might as well.
Oh yeah, because they had different. Well, how many different kinds do they have? They're like 4 different kinds.
They have 4, but now for some reason they only sell 3 in Total Wine. The 4th one you have to buy it somewhere else
on the black market.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. So what do you think the weirdest drink that you ever brought over was? I know there's been some weird ones. Remember you brought one over for my brother one time. You're like, oh yeah, your brother, he loves weed, so I'm gonna bring over a marijuana drink.
Oh yeah, no, it was a hemp drink, and
it was so gross because it tasted like you were drinking hemp.
Well, I mean, I thought it was great tasting. He thought it was great tasting, but you pop it open and it literally smells like somebody just sparked up a joint.
Yeah, but it tastes like that too. It tastes like it.
I mean, have you ever had bong water?
No, I have not. Is that weird of me that I have not drinking bong water?
From what I've heard, yeah, it's just a little weird.
So you use it like as a mixer in drinks, or
I mean, if you're that far gone, then yeah.
Okay, well,
not? Up for whatever.
God, I hope I'm not that far gone. But so anyway, just to get people familiarized with yourself, I can't even speak right now. I met you through a mutual friend, our mutual friend Nicole. I'm not sure what happened to her recently, but anyway, so she seems to have disappeared. But anyway, before all that, we all worked together, but I don't think I really knew of you before Nicole started hanging out with you, right?
Well, part of that was at work. We sat at opposite ends of the room.
Right,
and then I got promoted. I moved over across to the other side, and I sat with you, Rich Falls, and then that's when we all started talking more, and then I started hanging out with you guys more. And
right. Yeah. So like, it's just a great place to work. It was an interesting place to work. I mean, I believe it's the only job that I ever had where I ended up making less money after the 3rd year working there than I did the 1st year. So yeah. But I did meet some really great people. So like it was like I met you and Steve Klunk and Zeke and Rich and like Nicole, back in the day, and Marty, and like there's a great bunch of people that I met there. I mean, but there's also like a bunch of pieces of shit that I met that I worked there. And,
there was a few.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And TJ, let's not forget TJ.
Oh yeah,
good old TJ,
classic.
I love that weirdo. He's so great.
He's awesome.
He's so great. He was so funny. I can't remember what he said to me one time, but he did all this like a math where he was like breaking down like all his bills and like what we got paid, and like if you bonused how much that you could actually make and put towards, like it was just hilarious, like the way he was laying it out. And I was like, this is great. And so he would do it like often. Like he would be like, oh, you want to see the recent breakdown? Here I've added some more factors into this.
Well, it's like that big ass check that he printed out for Nicole, and it was $0. Because that was the bonus, $0.
Right. It started like we made like decent bonuses, but then when they started hiring people, that kind of place, you have to break down. You have to like split the bonuses. It was such a joke because they get a certain amount of money that they could spend, like each whatever. But anyway, so what do you think your favorite part of working at that place was?
I mean, I got to a point where I was working, but I wasn't working.
Yeah. No, I remember when I came to like I would like sometimes I'd just go on a field trip and I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I don't know if I was on break, but I would just be like, I'd go into
because they moved you guys into another section.
Yeah, so like the other building that we used to be in was kind of like vacant, but it still had a door entrance to the other building. So like I'd be like, it was right next to the bathroom. So like I'd go to the bathroom and then I'd wander into the other room because there was still like a side row of people still in there. And you
like 1 or 2 rows.
And you got to be in there and you're like, I'd come in and you're like, oh, hey, are you busy? And you're like, no, I'm fucking never busy. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I spend most of my day, walking around and, making
so
sure.
Fucking funny, dude.
I guess making sure other people were doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
How did you get that promotion?
I mean, I had it easy. I could have stayed there and I probably still would have had it super easy. But
well, because like you were doing okay because like you guys would work. They would offer like massive amounts of overtime, right? Like they would offer ridiculous amounts of overtime to you guys.
No, like Nicole and I would get there at as soon as the building fucking opened.
It's so funny.
We would get there and we'd be there like hours after it closed. So we were just ridiculous. Banking overtime.
It was so funny, man. Like, so yeah, you guys didn't really even need the bonus, but I mean, you're wasting time.
Oh, of course.
But if you don't have time to be anywhere, I guess.
Exactly.
You remember some of the supervisors there? Like 120.
Oh yeah.
So like they would have to have you
breathe it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Because they would always they were those kind of supervisors that would like try to, I don't even know. It's not really. I don't know if it's micromanaging. They're trying to like pump you up. It was so ridiculous. He's like, come on, everybody. We need to make those dials today. 120, 120, 120.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, this
is ridiculous. Okay.
Overly motivating, trying to hype everyone up when everyone knew it was bullshit and
it was such a joke.
Like,
so stupid.
So they throw out little incentives here and there.
Personally, I think my favorite part of working there was some of the low lifes that I got to meet there. It was fascinating being, because these are people that I would only be around if I was walking down the street downtown Seattle, downtown Phoenix, like big city where like, oh, it's a crackhead. I'm actually working next to a crackhead. I usually wouldn't be next to this person, but here I am. I'm working, because they would what they would do is they would in the interview process, what they would do, this is what I heard. This is a true story. Rich Falls told me this. What they would do is that during the interview process, they would take them into one of those interview rooms that they had on the on one of those little side interview rooms, and they would take a mirror and they would put it up to their nose, and if it fogged up, you got the job.
Oh,
yeah, isn't that crazy?
Life matters.
Yeah. So like, okay, can you show up? B, are you breathing?
I believe they call those seat fillers.
Yeah. It ranged from like 18-year-olds to straight out of high school, like ex-cons, like, okay, how heavy into drugs are you? I mean, are you heavy into drugs, or are you just like kind of, I mean, are you a functional crackhead?
I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on in the office, inside the office, outside the office. And I mean, one of my favorite things was we were assigned 30-minute for lunch, and my typical lunch was anywhere from an hour to 2 hours long. So yeah. Did
you get in trouble for it?
No.
No, because you showed up every day. They needed you. They needed you to keep the seat warm.
Exactly. It started off as hey, you only got 30 minutes. And
I just want to, I'm meeting with you right now because I want you to know that we can't have this. Yeah. Okay.
Then eventually it got to, hey, look, as long as you're here 8 hours, that's all that matters.
Yeah. As long as you could, if you're showing that you're here for, 8 to 12 hours, exactly. Like you and Nicole and the rest of the people here that are just, okay. Keep smiling. Keep dialing.
Smile and dial.
So, oh my gosh. I know I keep talking about this place, but what were some of your favorite prize giveaways at that place?
I mean,
there's some good ones.
Movie tickets that I never used.
Yeah, I used to sell those to Zeke. Zeke goes, I'll buy those off you. And I'm like, okay. Like, cause I'm not going to go, I'd win so many of them. I'm not going to go see the movies all the time. And
I mean, I remember I won a boombox once.
Oh shit. And was it a brand new one, or is it like one of those ones
it's probably like 3 years old. And I sold it that same day for $50.
I like how we'd sell them to
of course.
to people. And like probably the best prize I ever won there was like, and this is like, we're not talking like, this is, I don't know, this is probably 2000 when I was there, like 2013, 2014. So one of the prizes was a 2006 digital camera, 1.6 megapixel.
Whoa.
And at that point, everybody's phone was better at regular pictures than this fucking phone was.
I mean,
than this camera.
Who needs a retro filter when you win that kind of a prize?
Oh yeah, you don't even need it. And keep in mind that like our phones were already at that point like way better, like probably like 3-4 times better than the.
I mean, look, not everybody probably had those kind of phones, Josh.
Oh God.
Some people were probably using flip phones.
Yeah, I mean,
burner phones,
especially the. Especially the people there.
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, like they would actually like go to the like Best Buy. You know, they have those like those tables at the end of like the rows, and then they would have like the we have a clearance sale. We need to get rid of this stuff that's 14 years old. We need to and they're like, and Matrix they would go, or not Matrix, Ravana, they go in there and buy all that shit up.
Well, you jumped the gun there, Matrix.
Well, that brings me to my
flash forward to the future.
So here we are. So that was our big next opportunity. One of the girls that used to work, by the way, this girl that used to work at Ravana, it was hilarious. Like she would walk into this place. It had to be her first job, right? I mean, she was like what, like I don't know. She's like 20 or something. I don't know. I think she previously, underage. Previously she'd like worked like for her dad who like owned like, restaurants in the area or something like that. So this is like her first office job. And she would constantly get talked to because like she would walk in looking like she was dressed to go out like it's New Year's Eve or, like clubbing downtown in like Scottsdale. And you're like, and every fucking guy on the phone would like turn their head. She's in like high heels and like a short skirt and like her boobs are like, people like,
low cut top.
It was hilarious.
Dresses.
It was hilarious. Everyone's like, yeah, hi, I'm calling on behalf of FedEx. And they're like, sir, are you still there?
No, but
like,
she used it to her advantage, as almost every girl does when
it's hilarious.
When they have it, they gotta flaunt it. And
yeah. Except like you're at work, you're just sitting at a desk. You're not really putting on. I guess she was putting on a show. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that girl. It was funny because that girl actually left and got a job at some new company in North Scottsdale, and she let me know because she knew that I was fucking looking for work. She goes, hey, I'm at this new place. You would like this. And I go, awesome. So like I get there, and I took Nicole and I took you.
Well, yeah, you and Nicole got there a couple months before I did. I was still contemplating it. I mean, I had a cake job.
Right.
Do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Right. So like it was refreshing to be first off, it was refreshing to be treated like adults.
And better pay.
And way better pay. And I'm
like making twice as much now.
They did criminal background checks at this place. You don't think that's a big deal until you actually get to a place where they do criminal background checks.
I mean, it weeds a lot of people out.
Yes, it does.
It does.
And it was kind of like going from like the alternative like high school to like an Ivy League university. You know what I mean? It's like going to like I don't know, what's the community college around here?
GCC.
Yeah, it's like going from there to like Harvard. I don't know if it's that extreme, but you know what I mean.
I mean you're talking pretty extreme now.
Yeah, I know, but like so look, I mean, this place is great. We had our own garbage cans.
We did.
Garbage cans.
There was at one point they took ours away at Ravana and everybody was putting plastic bags and tying plastic bags.
It got so bad, like it was so ridiculous. So they took away garbage cans at that last place, and they just put one garbage can at the end of each row, and they got so filled up and like they overflowed and like garbage was like everywhere. They started having like problems with like insects and like fucking shit, and I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of this place. I gotta get the hell out of here. What am I doing here?
And bed bugs. They had bed bugs at one point. That was a nightmare.
It's like 2 degrees, and I'm like working at this fucking place. But yeah. So anyway, so we got. I just loved how we would start our email chains at that place. do you remember like our email chains of like how many sales we get during the day?
Well, yeah. It started off with
it was like fun. It was like really competitive. It was like, well, it started out with me, you, and Nicole, I think, right?
Yeah. You, me, and Nicole. Then we added Zeke once Zeke came aboard, and then
right,
and then Rich, our buddy Rich Rittenhouse.
Yes,
he got on. He joined it.
Yeah. So, but it was like, you know, it was like so funny to me. Like, so Eric, you were like so nice to people on the phone that it was almost like a not a good thing for that type of job. Because the job that you're in now is like, you're like perfect for it because like you're so nice and sweet over the phone. I mean, in person, you look like a fucking bouncer. But like over the phone, like, by the way, one of my favorite stories, which is, I mean, probably not one of your favorite stories, but it's one of my favorite stories. You got to tell the story about like how this guy was like talking to you over the phone, and he's just going off about like how he fucking hates like Mexicans and shit.
Oh,
and you're like, oh yeah, so I just got off the phone, and I go, oh yeah, how was it? And you're like, well, why don't you explain that fucking story? Like, so what was the guy talking about?
It was a 30+ minute call, and at some point the guy's just going off about life in general, and then his anger turns towards Mexicans, and he's like, all these people,
these fucking Mexicans
jumping the borders and stealing jobs and hurting our economy.
I like how but you're so professional. You're like, yeah, you're just like fucking going with the flow.
No,
you're like,
because I've heard it 1,000 times over the phone.
It's so bad.
I've heard people cuss me out,
Jesus.
make racial slurs. It happens. You're on the phones, and the people at this job are older, so a lot of them are.
Yeah,
that's just what they're used to.
Their generation. Back in my day, these
I've been called a wetback on the phone.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Over the phone? How do they know like you're Mexican?
They just either pick up on it or assume.
How? You don't. It's not like you have like you're like, hey, I say, hey, welcome to Matrix Mexico.
Because I don't sound 100%.
You don't sound like a Cheech Marin from like his movies.
And then when I give my last name, Tapia, I mean that's usually a dead giveaway.
Shit. Maybe you should change it to like Heisenberg or something, or like
no.
You're like, I have pride, motherfucker.
Not gonna happen. But no, it was a 30+ minute call. I remember our director at the time coming over. She's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I just turned at her. I'm like,
"You're like,
yeah, I'm fine. It's cool."
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And then they asked me if I needed time off the phone. I'm like, no, it's another call.
Well, that does move me into the next point where like, so I started hanging out with you more now that we were all kind of like, you know, it's me, you, Nicole, and in like that kind of group over there. You started hanging out with us, going out for drinks, joined our fantasy football league.
Yeah, going to the east side of town.
going
to concerts. Keep in mind, I'm from Glendale, Arizona.
What's
west side.
the streets and the abs? Like for some reason, that's a big thing here. What can you explain that? I don't see. Like I'm still like kind of oblivious to this kind of thing because I just don't pay attention. I guess I just don't care.
You poor soul. You poor soul. I mean, if you were to travel more over to the west side,
yeah,
you know, like far west.
It was like when Chuck went to that bar that we went to,
Christ.
and he was
Metro Sports Bar.
He was like horrified. He was like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna get stabbed in here." Like,
and this was like,
we need to get out of here.
This was like right when we walked in. He just looked at the crowd and immediately felt. Now, granted, we were dressed in '80s clothes because it was an '80s party for Nicole's birthday, but
that was funny.
But he was startled immediately, and then the icing on the cake was a guy getting dragged out in a chokehold. Because I'm sure that doesn't happen a lot in Scottsdale.
Yeah, I think Chuck fucking like lost his shit.
Yeah, I ended up walking everybody out to their car, and then I went back inside.
So ridiculous.
Enjoyed the rest of the night. I'm like, it's another day. I grew up in Surprise and El Mirage, so we used to see all sorts of shit go on. So it's nothing to me when it comes down to that.
Such good stuff. But one of the things that we went to one night was there's this big special event. So you'd always win these tickets for like special events and tickets to concerts and like all these different events that would be going on. And the Super Bowl was coming into town.
Oh,
and this wasn't just the Super Bowl. This was the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. My beloved Seattle Seahawks were in town.
Were they? I don't recollect.
You son of a bitch. How
I
dare you?
I remember going to the event, but I don't.
Yeah. So anyway, so how did that? So I remember I could tell you my side of the story. I was like,
so we were at.
Well, so this is like one of these crazy events. So like when the Super Bowl comes into town, which I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't come to Seattle because there's it's too cold. But every 5 years it goes to like Phoenix. And the whole town becomes this giant electric, like crazy place where there's just events everywhere, like famous people everywhere, just awesome like events. Like they have free events. There's like, it's just nuts. The whole place is awesome. It's so fun.
They want to do everything they can for revenue.
It's great. It's so fun.
So I was at Santisi.
Santisi Brothers, the sports bar that's it was out by the
17.
Yeah.
So in walk these they called themselves Bud Light girls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Bud Light promo girls.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
I love the Bud Light promo girls.
So there was quite a few of them in there, and one of them came up to me. He's like, "Do you want to shoot a commercial?" Like, oh, commercial for what? And she's like, "Well, we're giving away tickets to the House of whatever." I was like, "Fuck it."
So, by the way, you got your your actual
up for whatever, because that was the slogan.
Your nickname, buddy.
That was the slogan. So shot a commercial. A couple of people I were with, they shot a commercial, and then a few days later, I get an email saying I won.
You always win tickets to like everything.
Yeah.
Like you're always on the radio winning shit. Like
I've been on the news a couple times, and I won. Like there was a year I won tickets to Tool, Primus, Kanye back when he was good, and
not all crazy and shit.
Yeah, no, not. Yeah. I wouldn't take today's Kanye. I'd sell him.
Poop de scoop, doop de scoop.
No.
Yeah, it's good stuff. No. Good stuff he's putting out lately. So yeah, you guys went to that event.
Well, and I won like 7 tickets. So it was me, Nicole, and then I gave out the rest of the tickets.
Right,
I was
right.
Like,
but you saved a couple for me and Chuck and Dana, I think, right? So Chuck and Dana, they're like, "Oh, the free tickets, okay, so we could go whenever." And I go, "That's not how these things work. You need to if they're free tickets, you need to fucking go in because it's like capacity. Like so once they hit their capacity, then it's fucking over." So like
and Nicole and
I thought they were on their way. I thought
early.
they were on their way over. You and Nicole are like, "Hey, we're heading out. We're gonna be you want to swing by and pick you guys up or pick you up?" And I go, "Well, yeah, I think I'm waiting for Chuck. They said they're out to eat. They're getting something to eat, and then they're going to be over." I didn't know they were out to eat with their family. They were up in like Cave Creek or something, which is like 20 minutes away from where I was. And I was shit.
We were ready, and then Josh said no. So
it was like I'm talking like it must have been like 2 hours before we got there.
FTP.
Yeah, and
fuck that booth though.
Yeah, and then like when we finally got there was a line, probably I don't know, fucking 150 people.
And by then we got there and there was like
you guys
free beer everywhere.
Yeah, we're looking at you guys like up in the balcony, and you guys are leaning over like you have 2 beers in your hands. You're like, yeah, and what's like you have like there's like fucking I don't even know who was like Nicki Minaj is about to go on.
Well, yeah, she was a surprise guest. Performer, so we got to see her in a big ass tent that they had.
Did you say her and her big ass?
Yeah, both. We saw them both. We saw them both, and her big rack. All 3 were there.
Right.
So they close off at least a good 2 to 4 blocks for just this event. Free beer, all night.
Free beer. I remember you guys literally just always had like 2 beers in your hand.
Oh,
and it's not like I was there because I never made it in. I was looking at you from the street and you guys were like laughing and like holding up the beers look at this. This is fucking great.
I took
free
a photo.
Beer, free food.
I took a photo and I posted it.
Oh, yeah. I remember
why won't they just let them in?
Yeah. You're like, and at one point, like it had been so long since I had a beer. I'm like, can you drop it? I will fucking catch it. And you almost did. You fucking almost did. You're like, should I? And you're like, and I go, don't get kicked out, Eric. Don't get kicked out.
I was like, that would have ended the night right then and there.
You'd have been like, all right, someone needs to kick that big Mexican guy out. And like, I'm not doing it. You do it. I'm not fucking going over there. You do it.
No, and they had food trucks, so like I got my money ready. We walked up to the food truck. I asked how much, and she's like, "Oh no, it's all free."
Oh,
I was like, "No
Jesus.
fucking way! Free food and free beer all night."
Damn, dude. Yeah, like I remember I was like, Chuck and Dana, like they knew that I was fucking pissed, but it's like, you know, like
So
we didn't know it was gonna be like, you know, you weren't gonna be able to get in.
Needless to say, neither one of us remember leaving. So yeah,
So it was a good night.
it was a great
Good
night.
night.
It was a great night.
That's good. That's good. So what was that one thing that you said? By the way, I don't know why this just came up in my head, but it did. What's that one thing that you said? You're like, you always like joke about like how you're like, you're gonna like be in the friend zone. We're like, yeah, like let's get some fucking ladies, man. Let's go out and get some ladies tonight. You're like, I think I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna befriend some girl, be in the friend zone with some.
No, like you're and your brother. You know, you guys are like, we should go out and meet some fucking hot chicks. I'm like, we should probably just go out and meet some respectable women and make some or develop some long-term friendships, and then talk to them at another time.
It's so great.
But again, we're comparing you and your brother.
Oh, how
to me.
dare you? Maybe if we went to
not a racial thing, but
maybe if we went to Glendale or Phoenix. I don't know the areas that are bad.
I would probably.
I mean, not bad, just different. Different.
What do you mean?
That was
different?
a slip. That was a
What do you mean different?
Better complexion. Better
he's like more
smooth.
minoritized.
How dare you?
I probably
Eric?
still wouldn't stand a
How
chance.
dare you?
It's cool.
But so I want to talk about your love for the WWE.
Yes.
You have a very strong passion for the WWE. Not like even so much so that when they come to town, you're always going, right? I mean, pretty much.
I mean, there was a point, like obviously growing up, like I couldn't, but once I started working,
you're like,
I've been watching wrestling since I was about 3.
damn. Do you have older brothers?
One older brother, but he never watched it. I got this from cousins.
Cousins, okay.
I went over, like obviously I don't remember when I was 3, but from what I heard, and I went over and they gave me like some Wrestling Man action figures, and we were watching.
Did you have
wrestling.
Roddy Piper?
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you see that I got Roddy?
Oh yeah. Like
awesome.
I have a collection bin full of just action figures and
okay.
collectibles.
So if you've been watching since you were 3, I mean, who'd you say that your favorite old school guy? You know what? You don't even have to like name. Like I think I asked you this before.
I mean, I can name them my eras.
Okay. Well, let's. This is really fascinating to people, I'm sure. Anyway, no, but I don't give a shit. This is my podcast. I want to hear some of your favorites because, like, I remember like my brother and I were talking to you like one night, and we're like, "Who do you hate?" And you're like, "I don't really hate anybody." And I was like, "You like and you hate the bad guys," and you're like, "Yeah." And I go, "Okay, well, God, there has to be some of your favorites then.
See,
who are your favorites?"
That's like what it's hard. Like obviously when you're younger, yeah, you hate people because they're the quote unquote bad guy.
Yeah.
But when you get older, it's like
you respect them.
You respect them, so you understand like the craftsmanship, and people will call it fake. Well, those people fucking suck. So
did you ever hear that? Did you hear when I think I played this for you. I know I played it for Rich, but I played when the Iron Sheik was on Howard Stern. Did you ever hear that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. He's like, dude, he was out of control. Like
Iron
he kept.
hilarious.
They're like, make sure you keep feeding him beer because it's amazing. Like the interview will be amazing if you keep feeding him beer. Yeah. And he kept saying like shit like they kept like, you know, that the Stern Show, if they know that they could fuck with somebody and they could get away with it, and they know that they could rile a person up, they're gonna fucking go full
and
speed
Iron Sheik
ahead.
has always been an easy target.
Right. So like they're like they would come in and they're like. They would like just like start fucking going crazy on him, and he's like, "You are gay and faggot," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's saying this shit!" Like it's fucking crazy.
Iron Sheik didn't give a shit. Like that's just who he was. But no, I mean like I respect like the dedication it takes.
So okay, so the '80s. Who are your favorite 80s guys?
I mean, obviously, growing up was Hulk Hogan #1, and
and
then Macho Man.
I am a real American.
Exactly.
You like that?
Oh,
you like
yeah.
that song?
Hulkamania Running Wild.
Yeah. Look at this guy over here. It's funny because like watching like if we watch like an old clip of like WWE with you, like you just like it's like there's not a clip you haven't seen.
I mean,
you've like seen fucking every goddamn clip. I don't know that much about wrestling, but
I almost started this podcast off by saying, "Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene."
Oh God! Oh, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Yeah, I see. I know the characters.
Yeah, see,
I just never really. I mean, I watched the famous WrestleMania 3. That was like huge.
Who hasn't?
That was huge.
Who
yeah,
hasn't?
but like I lived it, man. I was there. I remember watching it. And Neil Borquin and Adam Borquin and Leela Borquin's front living room.
I was probably about a year. I'm in the process of being concepted at the time, so I hadn't quite witnessed it yet.
Exactly. So in the 90s, then it was like, The Rock and Stone Cold and, like Stone Cold's like still hilarious, like too. Like, have you heard him like when he does those fake promos? Have I played those for you? You might have even heard those. He goes, I don't know. He used to go on Adam Carolla, the Adam Carolla show, and they used to have him do these like fake promos, and they were so funny. And like he's like and then they would end it with like the more like the rainbow. Ding, ding, ding,
oh no, Stone Cold was everywhere. Stone Cold was on.
That guy's a good. He's
got
a good
podcasts. He was on Mad TV.
And that's back in the day when they used to drink. Like they used to like. He used to slam beers on stage, and they used to like have girls like naked on stage and shit. I'm like, man, that was the 90s, right? The late 2000s or the early 2000s.
It was the 90s and late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
It was all about cutting edge.
I remember like I was in college at that time, and that shit was huge. I mean, they'd have giant like parties. Everyone would be drinking and watching the show because like you could drink along with the show. They had like Stone Cold out there pounding beers and like slamming shit against his head and shit. You're like, what is going on here?
I mean, if we want to get like real deep into it, like we're talking about 90s and we're already 2019. Stone Cold still holds the record for like bigger amount of merchandise sold.
Oh, really?
Things like that, and that's
what about The Rock? See, The Rock, he didn't. Was he like not there long enough to?
I mean,
he left kind of to be Hollywood, right?
Well, and that's what pissed a lot of people off was that when he first left for Hollywood, he tried to pretend like he didn't know wrestling, and he completely blew off the whole Rock character. Then when he got shit on, like he realized it wasn't going to work.
I remember in March of '99 when I went to New York City, You know how they always have that in Times Square they have a big giant billboard in the middle of Times Square.
Oh yeah.
He was the billboard that was like up, and he had that doing the Rock like the eyebrow. He's like he was doing the Rock eyebrow, and like I was like, I don't know if I took a picture of it, but we might have. But that was like the big picture that was like in Times Square. It was March of 1999, so he was still huge at that point, like in WWE.
I mean, and the big thing for anybody, whether they're a wrestling fan or not, yes, it is scripted.
What?
No, it's not fake.
Oh shit, dude! Those guys like there was a guy this year that fucking died in the fucking ring. He died. Like I saw that, and like I like how they get like. Sometimes they just fucking don't know if they're fucking around. The guy fucking rolled him over and still pinned him just so he could get the win. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucked up, dude.
Because you don't know. And a lot of times that's what they're trained to do is just continue as if everything's fine. But scripted, yes. Fake, no.
Yeah, well, Jesus. Yeah.
Because
anyway.
I've taken, like, as they call them, bumps in an actual ring. And it is not fake. It's hard to get up once you.
Dude, those guys like.
Hit the
I mean, they're fucking like they're dying in their 50s. These guys like these old like wrestlers. I mean, a lot of them. There's a ton of these guys dying. Yeah. Like.
Well, the steroid usage isn't as big as
they use those old school steroids where like now like they have the good shit, man. The good shit.
Of course. Everything's a little bit more
back then,
smarter.
like look at those guys back in the 80s. They were just ridiculous. They were ridiculously
well, they were all like
huge.
6'6", 6'7", and fucking all pure muscle and all steroided out. Nowadays, you have a nice fine mixture. Your brother's favorites.
Oh yeah. Who's the King guy? Who's that guy?
King Corbin.
So
he used to
ridiculous.
play. He was on the practice squad for the Cardinals. Fun fact.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we're going to move into something that might be a little bit more uncomfortable, but it's very familiar to you, which is some of the most racist moments of the last few years. And I've been there for some of these. You're going to take a sip of your beer. You can just prepare yourself for this. Yeah, so some of these are pretty bad.
Yeah, so you're a little...
So every year I make an end of year list. So I mean every year, like last month I made one, whatever. Anyway, so essentially, how many? I don't know how many years it was, like 3 or 4 years in a row. You made the most most racist moment of the year goes to and wait for it. I'm gonna open up the envelope. Oh, it goes to Erik Tapia again. I don't know.
Yes, it was 3.
Oh God, it's so bad. Anyway, so do you remember the first one? I don't know. We might be getting these out of order, but the first one that I had on here.
Oh no, I remember them all.
Okay,
clearly.
Like in order.
Yeah.
What was the first one in order?
So the first one, it was you, me, Lee.
Oh, okay. So it was the big group of people.
Yeah, it was probably the whole bunch of us.
Like, was that when Kevin and Ryan and all those guys were here?
No, because I don't think I've ever.
Oh, okay. That was when. Was that one of the? Anyway, it was a big group of people. Like it was like 10 people. And we went down to
Old Town Scottsdale. Of course we did.
Oh, God. Here we go.
And then I believe this might have only been my second time in life ever in Old Town Scottsdale.
It's so bad. It was so weird because like we all get in and then it's like I think it was you and somebody else. Was it Lee?
No, everybody's casually dressed.
Yeah, everyone's very casually dressed in shorts and
t-shirts. I'm wearing
t-shirts
a button-up shirt.
Yeah.
Pants.
You're probably dressed better than any of us.
So we get to Bottled Blonde.
Oh, God. You're calling him out.
And, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Half the group goes in, and then I hand my ID to security. He doesn't even look up at me. He says, we can't let you in. I'm like, why? He's all, you're wearing Air Force Ones. We don't let those in there. All the while, never once looked up at me.
You know, the funny thing is that I know nothing about Air Force Ones. The only thing I know is the song. If you gave me like 20 pairs of tennis shoes to look at, I couldn't even tell you what the fuck Air Force Ones look like. And the fact that they did not let you in because you were wearing Air Force Ones is still baffling to me.
Oh, exactly.
I don't even understand it. Is that like a gang thing? I really don't understand.
He hands me my ID back and I'm like not understanding what's going on because he never once looked at me.
Do you remember when Lee lost his shit?
I just remember looking at the crowd because it was an open area, so you can see. I'm like looking around. I'm seeing fucking New Balance. I'm seeing sandals. I'm seeing boots.
Right.
I'm seeing like are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
And most of the group had already gone in. Lee's trying to talk to the guy. So then we have to.
Yeah, because like Lee's always like the reasonable guy. Because Lee used to be a bouncer. You know what I mean? Like so. Lee used to own a bar. He used to be he bounced at his own bar and stuff like that. And he used to be like he's a very reasonable guy. Actually, Lee used to test for the police departments too. So like he tried to be a cop, which he would have been an amazing cop. But now looking back at the last few years, he's like, oh, thank God I'm not a cop. Jesus Christ, he's like fucking
thank
horrible.
God Lee's not a cop.
Jesus Christ. But
thank God, Lee, you made the right choice, buddy. Thank God.
But anyway, so like But yeah, so I remember us like, well, I think it might have been Lee that came in and he goes, hey, they won't let Erik in. He's wearing Air Force Ones or something like that.
The whole group comes back out.
So yeah, we're like, well, let's get the fuck out of here. Why would we want to fucking go into a place that they won't let one of our friends in for wearing a pair of fucking tennis shoes. So we all leave and Lee, I just remember standing across the street and we're staring at the bar and Lee goes, what the fuck was that all about? He goes, give me your fucking shoes. I want to fucking put them on right now.
He wanted to trade shoes with me. He's like, what size shoe do you wear? Like, give me your shoes. I'm about to go in there right now.
He goes, you're like, are you serious? And he goes, yeah, give me your fucking shoes. And like, people are like, no, let's just fucking go. Let's find another place. And he goes, no, I'm fucking serious. Give me your fucking shoes.
No, and him and I had talked about it. We were like thinking about doing it the following week. Because by then we had just been over there, so then they would have known something was up. So we're like, well, let's give it a week or two, and then we'll go back and we'll see. We never did, and I've never been to Bottled Blonde since.
I've been there since, but it's like it's just it's not like one of those places I go in and like I'll walk in, I'm like, this place sucks. Like it's just they're all the same. All those bars are like the same bars.
Have you ever been denied access into a bar, sir?
Yes, but only because I've been too drunk.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember. But
not by your shoes, not by your footwear.
No, I didn't get allowed to a.
Well, no, I mean, there was that one time we didn't get let at Marcel's because Rich Falls was still sober.
That was great, Rich. The only one that didn't have a fucking drop of alcohol.
Oh, and he got his fucking kicked out. 86th because he hadn't had a fucking drink.
So the next year was the year that you've been working at Matrix. We've been working at Matrix, and you've been saving up a bunch of money. You're like doing pretty well. You're like, I'm gonna buy a house.
Yeah.
So you and your family, I'm gonna let you take over, but I'm gonna set this up. You and your family go over to check out the new house that you just like closed on or something. Like, is that you're gonna be getting the keys like the next day or something like that, you said, right?
Yeah.
So take over. You could explain this.
I'm not into the whole buying houses thing. So
yeah, well, yeah, I'm not either.
So this is I
bought one condo.
My first house. So I let my parents decide where they wanted to go. So they found a house, and we closed on it. And it was the night before we had already closed on it, but it was the night before we officially got the keys.
This fucking story's
We were going to get the keys the following morning. So, they're all excited. So we go to the house. Now,
and it's not like you guys were there at like fucking 11:30 at night. Like
no,
you were
this was like around 7 or 8 o'clock.
It's like so ridiculous.
But it was around, it was like October, November. So it was already dark by the time.
Right. Okay.
So we're looking in the house. We get there. And there's a guy already there who's doing some work on the house from the previous owner. So he's in there. We get there. We pull up. We're just looking around. We walk through the back. All of a sudden, we see a helicopter. And we're like, oh, shit. They must be looking for somebody. Well, the helicopter kept hovering around. And the light
they have like that fucking like bright light shining on the fucking
and it
on
kept
the ground.
shining on us. And like after a minute, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm
so bad.
I'm like, either somebody is running through this backyard or we're the ones they're looking for. And sure enough, 10, 15 minutes later, 2 cop cars pull up to the house. And I'm like,
oh, stop.
Exactly. And I'm like, I'm walking up, because I own the house. So I'm walking up. And sure as shit, the lady gets out, and as soon as she gets out of the car, she already has her hand on her gun.
Jesus
She's
Christ.
like, whoa, sir, who are you? I'm like, I own this house. I just bought this house. And she's like, all the while, she's keeping her hand on her gun.
Oh my God,
She never lets it off. I give her my ID. No, I give her partner the ID.
Right.
Because this lady's like, she's got one hand up in front of her.
Oh my God.
Trying to fend me off. The other hand's on her gun. And we're talking like it's
Why you gotta look so scary, Eric?
It's me, my parents, and my sister.
It's like you're like a family of fucking...
Yes, a family. So then they take it back. They call it in. And it was the guy inside who called the cops.
What?
Not knowing.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Wow.
He was like, oh, I didn't know you guys were the owners. I'm like, you fucking moron.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. So that was... So then the cops left. The helicopter gets called off. And,
yeah.
And the guy in the house, he had all the doors bolted and locked. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you guys were the owners. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, welcome to the neighborhood, buddy.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Exactly. That was our welcome to the
Wow.
neighborhood. And we moved in. We started moving in the very next day.
How awkward. Oh God.
Yeah. By then, everybody.
Did you guys give welcome enchiladas to the? I mean, welcome cookies.
Oh, they have to be enchiladas?
Just joking.
Like it's going to be some type of Mexican food?
No, okay. So then the next year we... So ridiculous. So the next year, we all decided once a year we go to try to go to a big concert, and you're always up for whatever, right? That's your motto.
24/7.
You're up for whatever, man. Like I go, hey man, do you want a drink? You're like, hey, what do you want? You're like, I'm up for whatever.
Hashtag up for whatever.
Yep. So I'm like, all right, dude. Well, we're gonna be going to a country show. We're gonna be going to the Kenny Chesney, and he's like,
I mean, to be fair, I'd listen to some Kenny Chesney in the past.
It's kind of like a Kenny Chesney's kind of like the Jimmy Buffett of like country music. Kind of like the beach music is. Like he has that beach vibe,
like the new era.
Right. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like there's like the rock version of that is like Sammy Hagar, like the whatever. Anyway, so Kenny Chesney has the beach vibe of music, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, okay, let's go to that. We go to the concert. You want to explain this one too? It was all great. We're pre-funking. We're having a great time at our buddy Jordan's house.
We're in a group of about 10 people,
12 people, maybe even more. Yeah.
We all take a group photo outside. And
yeah, it was all great. Up until
so we're in the line, and everybody's going through security just fine. One right after the other. Random people to my left, random people to my right. I get through there, and they're like,
Whoa, sir.
They scanned me twice, and they're like, we need you to step aside over here. I'm like, watching everybody else just go by. By that time, everybody's already going up the elevator. I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Because you were next to me.
Yeah.
And I went through, and then I stopped. I was like, oh shit, he's not right behind me. And I look over, and your face was there, like, you looked at me like, really? What the fuck?
Exactly.
Because they stopped the one fucking Mexican. Oh, this is random?
Oh, of course.
Oh, your face was
fucking
priceless,
group
dude.
of about 10 to 12 people.
It was priceless.
I'm the one that because we're all in the same line. We're all going through it. And then I'm the one asshole that gets stopped. And I'm wearing, I got my cross around my neck.
Oh, how dare you wear the cross?
They're like, sir, you need to take that off. I'm like,
because you went through
it's metal,
right,
so to speak.
Right.
So they check me over, and then this girl calls another guy over.
We need to double check on this Mexican guy over here.
So after about 5 minutes,
we need backup on security.
Yeah, after about 5 minutes and 3 searches, they finally let me go.
Oh my god!
Like, you son of a bitch.
Sir, can you please take off your socks? Sir, can you take off your pants? Sir.
No, I remember I took off my necklace, and I would have had to take off my belt, but then they decided against that. So yeah.
But because you start whipping people with it or something, or what?
Who knows? They probably didn't feel uncomfortable with my hands that low.
Anyway, yeah. So that was the pretty much the 3 years. Not that there's more incidents. There was one incident when you got lost, kind of coming back to my place. I had just moved to this condo, and condos, they kind of all look the same, and so it's kind of it's easily mistakable.
They're like white people; they all look the same.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you! Don't necessarily disagree with you, but no. So we had been drinking. You wandered back to my place after going to get your wallet or something like that, wasn't it?
Well, no. From what I was told.
From what I was told?
I forgot my phone at the bar. So you guys let me go by myself to the bar.
Yeah. But how dare you
to retrieve my
put
phone.
it like that? How dare you?
I come back and, I knock on the door. There's no answer.
you said you'd be fine. You're like, I'll be fine.
I'm like, I hope, they fell asleep already. So I'm knocking on the door some more. No answer. I'm like, all right, let me go through the back. So I go through the back fence.
Oh, God.
And I'm banging on the Arcadia door. And still there's no answer.
So bad.
So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Did everybody pass out? So I come back out to find 3 cops waiting for me.
Didn't they have their guns drawn on you?
One of them had his gun drawn. The other one had
Holy shit.
Another one had his hand on his gun.
This one's a little more different because you're actually in someone's fucking yard.
Well, yeah, coming to find out. They asked me sir, what are you doing? Who you look for? And
you're like, Josh.
And oddly enough, I gave them your name.
Yeah.
Your condo number.
And you're not at the right condo number.
Which is not the. And then I just remember.
I remember like when they go, "Sir, do you know this guy?" And you look so angry. You're like, because you just had guns pulled on you, and they're like, "Do you know this guy?" And I go, "Yeah." And you're like, you look so angry. And I go, "Erik, yeah, what's going on?"
No, because he kept his gun on me the whole
Oh my
fucking time,
God.
even walking me over here.
And then I'm like, "Hey, Erik, why don't you get in the house, man?" And they're like, and I go, "Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened, but I'm sorry." Like,
yeah,
it's
and
so
then,
bad.
Yeah, no, that much I remember. And then I remember finding out that I came in here and Nicole did it on a Facebook Live that I was like a
she did that on Facebook Live.
yeah.
Fucking crazy.
It was like a rant video about the cops and the situation.
So crazy. Anyway, I want to end this on a happy note. So you come over. I don't know, 80% of the time on Fridays. Just like for drinks.
Fridays are a good
it's
day
like
to come
it's
by.
Erik Fridays, man. Erik Fridays. How would you describe Watch Mojo? We discovered this YouTube channel. It's called Watch Mojo, and every week or every day they come up with a video, and it's like a top 10 video, right? Or top 10.
It's a top 10 of whatever they feel.
Yeah, just
needs to be
whatever.
top
You could
10.
think of anything, and like they have the top 10 of that subject. You could literally type in anything into Watch Mojo, or you could type in Watch Mojo, and they're like the top 10 fucking whatever of this list, and it always manages to piss you off. Like no matter what it is, I'm like, oh, there's no way they could fuck this up.
And here's the thing, like you when you think about it, you're sitting down, you're watching YouTube videos, and you're like, oh, this is fucking stupid. Like to
so
begin
great.
with. So then you watch it and you're like, all right, top 10, whatever.
It's so great because, like, I'd say 10 through 3. You're like, okay. Now, when they get down to like the top 3, you're like, okay, well, one of these has to be.
Even then, you're like, no, I probably wouldn't put that in my top 10. And then they start getting narrowed down, and
You're like, well, okay, wait, where is it? Where's the song? Where's
like, and then that number
the top 10 songs of Van Halen?
And
I'm like,
number
okay.
one hits, and you're like, no fucking way. No,
Yeah, it's baffling.
fucking way.
So like my brother was like, remember when we first showed my brother this thing, and he goes, "This is stupid." He goes, "How could they possibly mess this up?" And it was like the best of Tool or something like that, the top Tool songs, and like. My brother's like, remember, he was like watching this and he goes, okay, I mean, like these are very subjective or whatever.
Yeah,
but then it got to the number one and he fucking made him angry. And you and I were like enjoying this so much because
We're like, mission accomplished.
yeah, because like it fucking almost every
and
list pisses you off.
We've had other people come over. They're like, you guys are fucking stupid for watching these videos.
Yes.
So they start off by saying that.
Yeah.
And then 1 or 2 videos in, they're like, no fucking way.
Yeah, they get
We're
into
like,
it,
come
right?
on.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of a fun kind of deal where like you can it's entertainment for everyone. Everyone could enjoy it.
So if you ever feel like being disappointed,
Yeah.
watch Mojo, find it on YouTube. And no, I'm not getting paid to sponsor them.
But you should because
And they have a Miss Mojo too. That's for all your female listeners out there, Miss Mojo.
why would they separate the two? Really, is there really a need to separate the two?
I don't know. It's 2019. They should all be as one.
Okay. Well, we're gonna end it on that note, Erik. Erik, thanks again for coming in. We're definitely gonna have you back because I mean you're here all the time, man. You live in the area, Phoenix guy.
I wouldn't say I live in the area. I mean, you're
Okay, you live in the avenues.
exactly.
You live in the right side of the tracks. Is it the wrong side of the tracks?
whoa.
How do we say this?
I guess it depends on your point of view.
That's true.
I
Depends
live in
on your
Glendale-
skin color or your or
Glendale, Arizona.
how many times the cops have
West
like
Side
pulled you over.
represent.
Are you representing on me right now?
I think I am.
All right, we're gonna leave it at that. Erik, thanks again for coming in, buddy. We're gonna leave it there, and until next time, this is the Josh and Friends podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Adios.
Later, man. Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends podcast. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. If you enjoyed listening to the podcast, please share away. And make sure you give me a like or a good review. I can always use the help. I'm Josh, and thank you for being a friend.